Ever since the San Diego Comic-Con panel about Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and even before then, even before the panel actually took place, there was a lot of speculation about the animation in Dragon Ball Super's 2022 film, Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and how it's going to actually look and what it'll be like. After Dragon Ball Super Broly was an animation spectacle back in 2018 and really was a tremendously enjoyable film visually, the majority of Dragon Ball fans that I've seen have clamored for more animation to be either on the same level or in the same style as what we saw in that film, or maybe even something better. And we found out recently, back in May, that the new film would have a different artistic vision. It would go a bit of a different direction. And we're going to talk about that here on this video and really explain how the animation for Dragon Ball Super Superhero is going to look in comparison to Broly and some of the differences that you're going to be experiencing. The question that was plaguing our minds for a long time and the fandom is, could it be possible that this new movie is going to be in CGI? Will it be a CGI film? And the answer is not so simple to explain because yes, the film is going to have 3D models. It will be CGI, but not the CGI that you're really thinking of. Or at least not what I was thinking. When I think about a movie being animated in CGI, I think about movies like Toy Story and other Pixar films. I think about movies that have maybe some 3D CGI moments, like even Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, and Broly had them. But what we're going to get here is a bit different. What we're going to get here in this film, based on everything we've seen so far. Now remember, we still have not seen a full trailer yet. We've only seen a teaser trailer. But when you actually break down what we've seen, and based on some of the character models, it appears like the film is going to still have Naohiro Shintani, one of the minds behind the animation in Dragon Ball Super Broly, and a man who revitalized the way that Dragon Ball looks. He's probably going to be involved, although it's not confirmed, working on the designs for the characters for these upcoming models. But the actual movie itself is going to be a bit of a hybrid style, where it's going to be, from what we've seen, a lot of 3D models, 3D objects being rendered in computers, but it's going to be drawn over with 2D animation art. Now, some of you are very familiar with this. In fact, some of you probably know more about this than me. I'm not an animation expert, never claimed to be. I'm not even an artist. Trust me, I've tried to draw and I'm not very good at it. But in doing research, I'll do my best to explain to some of you who might not know exactly how it's going to work, how it appears to be going for Dragon Ball Super Superhero as far as the way the movie's going to look. So, one thing I will tell you is that I don't believe for 1 second that Toei Animation is going to make a Dragon Ball movie that's not going to look good. They're going to make it look as good as they possibly can based on their time constraints and production schedule. Obviously, there are some films that look better than others. Some have heavily criticized Tadayoshi Yamamoto's work on Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. Some of the older Minoru Maeda Dragon Ball Z films are absolutely gorgeous. We've seen some great animators put their hard work into this franchise. I don't think Toei's going to put out a movie that's subpar. However, it may not be close to being on the level of what Broly was for some, but it's going to be a different style. Now, speaking of Broly, we can look at some of the models that were used in that film to further elaborate and explain on what's going to happen with this movie. So if you look at your screen right now, you're going to see an image that was taken from one of the earlier Dragon Ball Super Broly trailers of Goku in SS Blue in the middle of a fight with Broly. This scene here was rendered in computer-generated imagery and was put out, I guess, unfinished or without the finishing touches for that trailer. And the scene itself, I don't think looks that bad, but there is a noticeable difference between the way it looks here and the way it looked in the final version of the film. Now, feast your eyes on this. This is how the same exact sequence looked in the final version of the film. As you can see, Goku's face is much sharper. The colors are more accurate to the way Goku would look with the shading. It actually looks pretty decent, I would say. And to me, that is a great example to illustrate what they're going to do with this film. You're going to have the 3D models on the bottom, but you're going to have animators hand draw specific things to make it pop out more, to kind of, in a way, polish the scene so that it looks beautiful and as effective as possible. Now, I want to show you another couple of examples of some of the scenes in Dragon Ball Super Broly that featured this sort of CGI rendered effect. You know, as you can see right here, the Goku versus Broly fight in this scene, and also this scene right here with Goku and Broly delivering headbutts to each other, which I actually didn't even recall seeing this in the film when I first saw it. It took multiple viewings to really notice this. I think this is quality stuff. I think it looks great, and I think it works. Not my favorite sequence in the film, but it looks good. What I would be worried about is stuff like this, which you see on your screen right now, with Gogeta and Broly looking very choppy. This right here is something that I think a lot of us were afraid of. I think we were afraid it was going to go down this way, but I'm not sure if this movie's going to be looking like that for at least not more than a couple of sequences. I mean, I just don't know. I couldn't predict it, but the CG in Battle of Gods and comparing that CG to what we saw in Broly, there definitely was a big step up in quality. So one could only assume that it's been 3 years since Broly came out. We definitely are going to have an improvement here. I mean, I just don't see how it's not going to look great. And I know some fans were worried about it, but still, the models appear to be in 2D, but actually when you look a bit closer, there are some very interesting things that maybe aren't as noticeable upon first viewing. For example, the image of Piccolo that was used for the San Diego Comic-Con panel, even though on the surface it may look like a 2D drawing, it could easily be a 3D render because of certain details that were missing. Same thing goes for this picture of Krillin. When you look at Krillin here, if you notice, you'll notice that, and this is kind of difficult to really see, but you'll notice that based on how the line work is and when things are drawn in perspective, it may not actually be a 2D image. It could be a 3D render. Either way, they're going to have animators coming in and drawing over the 3D renders. What I am probably the most concerned about is how the fight scenes are going to look, because even though I know they can deliver quality fight scenes in CG, the Precure movie showed us that it's not something Dragon Ball is native to. Dragon Ball's art is typically better in 2D animation format, but at the same time, when I saw the San Diego Comic-Con panel and what they showed us, it certainly looked a lot better than what I was expecting. And ultimately, because of how much money Dragon Ball makes and how important it is to Toei Animation, I don't feel like they're going to skimp on this. I'm not expecting it to look like a bad Dragon Ball Heroes episode. I'm expecting it to be a bit of a challenge to make it look right, but I'm not expecting it to look bad by any stretch of the imagination. We'll know more about this as more trailers come out and as we get more information. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and hit the notification button if you're new, and leave a comment as well. Before I close out, I want to thank some people for helping make this video. Aegis, I want to thank Aegis. I want to thank NEK, Nekis. I want to thank Anime AJ, Tyson Hallams for giving me their input on this topic, as I'm not an art expert by any means, and it's good to reach out and get other people's opinions on what this movie is shaping up to be. Either way, like I said, I'm optimistic for it. I think it'll be fine. We'll see what happens when it comes out at some point in 2022. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.